Alright, what's up guys, it's D-Gas Films here. We have the board we're going to be customizing today. I'm sure you clicked on the video because you thought you want to customize a board just like this. So, it's going to be super easy. Basically, the stuff you're going to need: spray paint. You can use many colors, just make sure you have a black or some sort of white as an outline. You're going to want some painter's tape so you can mark off edges you don't want to get paint on. And dish soap to keep the cool design. Like on this, you can see the dish soap holds the paint in these lines right here. Makes it look super sick. Then you're gonna get some rubbing alcohol, and that's all. Alright, so step one of painting your surfboard is prepping it. You're gonna wanna have a rag and some dish soap. Just go ahead and splash some of that on, good amount, and wipe off the area you're going to paint. Make sure you've already swiped or scratched off all the wax that you had on the board, because it's going to make the paint not stick properly if you have some on there. So I'd say just go ahead and get rid of that. Basically going to go over it, make sure you have a good surface. After that's good, it's all wiped off, you can move on to your next step. Alright, next step, you want to get some fine grit sandpaper to go ahead and scratch up everything. Not always scratch it, but you want to just make it a textured surface so the paint sticks better. So I'm going to go and do that real quick. Just real quick, go over it. It doesn't have to be too well. You're just rubbing up everything. And then make sure you try not to breathe any of the stuff in, because it's definitely not good to breathe in. Alright, now that I did that, let's move on to the next step. Alright, next step is to say grab the same rag you used to wipe it off with and just wipe it down, trying to get all that powder that you probably scratched off a little bit on the board. And powder is going to be that fiberglass, just barely any of it, but it'll definitely be there. So let's go and get that out of the way. Alright, we did that. Next step is putting the painter's tape on. I'm going to skip this step, but I will show y'all what it looks like when it's done. Alright, so we're back. Board is all taped up. As you can see, I just went along the rails right here and just taped off everything I didn't want taped, or I didn't want spray painted. And we're going to work on the bottom, so I'll go and cut over to that. Alright, so here comes the painting process. So I'm going to go ahead and cut to that. It's going to be in probably sped up so that it's easier for y'all to watch in a shorter period of time, but here we go. Alright, now we just have to wait for that to dry. Make sure it is not sticky at all, because you do not want that soap sticking to it when you're going to go to the next process. But it's looking pretty sick right now. I don't know if y'all can see that. There we go. Boom. Yeah, it's gonna be so sick. Alright, I'll get back to y'all when that dries. Alright, board is done drying now. So now we're gonna put the soap on, and I'm gonna keep that at normal speed just so that y'all can see what I do. And this is when it starts to get pretty fun. So let's go. Alright, here we go. Fun part. Right, you're just gonna take your soap. Here we go, pop that open. And you're just gonna take it and just do all these crazy splotches in some areas. Oh yeah, go wild with it. And this is what's gonna keep the stuff underneath from getting all covered up. Make some big globs, you know. Oh yeah. Alright, so now after you're happy with that, you're gonna go on, you're gonna get your third color or any other color you want to use. Take that. I chose the matte beach green. I think that's gonna look sick, and yeah, I will show y'all it in probably fast forward, so that way y'all don't have to get bored watching it, but here we go. Alright, now soap and spray is on, and we're gonna let that sit. So what you wanna do is wait for that base color that you just sprayed on, the one that you just sprayed on, you want for that one to dry. And then, as you can see, you can already see the little pieces starting to slide off the edge over here. And then once you spray it off, all that blue's gonna stay there, but you're gonna have the blue and the black. It's gonna look so sick. And we're just gonna wait for that to dry, and I'll cut back to you when that's done, and I'll spray it off for y'all so y'all can see what it looks like. Alright, peace. Alright, so this is the last and the best step, I would say. This is when your board starts to look absolutely sick. You're gonna go over, grab your water hose. You don't want to have it at a very high pressure, because otherwise it will just spray the paint off or start chipping before you put your clear coat on. So you're gonna get your water hose. I recommend just getting one of these types and turning it on the shower settings, that way it doesn't spray too hard. And yeah, I'll cut to that so y'all get to see what that looks like. Here we go. And you go and pick up all this paint stuff you don't want getting wet. You want to go ahead and get that out of the way. I got that, and here comes this part actually. Alright, yeah, we're chilling. Here we go. Oh yeah, looking so sick. And you can turn it up to like a higher setting. There we go. You can go and wipe your hand over it. Yeah. It's so sick. Alright, there we go. And that is going to wrap up the video. As you can see, look how sick that looks. That turns out amazing. I would suggest in probably 3 to 4 days you put a clear coat on, so that way when you put your wax on it doesn't try and rub. It shouldn't rub, but I would say just in case. And make sure you don't spray too much on, or it will cause the paint to drip. But dude, just look how sick that is. Heck yeah, dude. Oh yeah, looks amazing. Alright, if y'all want to see more of this content, go ahead and subscribe to me, so that way y'all get to see more of this. And if you like dirt biking content, you can also go down and subscribe. And yeah, see y'all next time. Later.